Now, it's a struggle for many of us these days to make the time required to work on ourselves. We've got fat loss goals, we've got get out of pain goals, we've got health goals that we want to achieve, but often within the context of a normal everyday life, especially the way things are so chaotic and hectic for most of us these days, it's very challenging to stay focused. It's very challenging to stay on track. And therefore, it's very challenging, if not almost impossible, to get the fucking results that we want. Now, what we have to consider is that although working on our body, our health, etc., is ultimately one domain, as in it's the body domain, it is going to be influenced by all three of the other domains that exist. So we've got being, which is our certainty and purpose. We've got balance, which is our relationships with our friends, our family, our partner, our kids, etc. We've also got business, which is the ability to make money, keep money, and grow money. So we've got these four domains that are trying to work all on their own and also combined or intertwined. And if they are all chaotic and all over the place, how are we going to be able to maintain a focus on any one of them at any given time when the rest of them are all over the place? Now, of course, this is one of the biggest problems or struggles that I see with people. It's like, oh, I have these body transformation goals. I want to lose 30 pounds. My back aches all the fucking time. I want to get out of pain and so on. But the problem is I just don't have time. My business, is so busy and it keeps me so engaged there that I don't really have the time to focus on myself. And then, of course, when I'm not working in my business, my partner expects me to be at home, to spend quality time with her and obviously to look after the kids and so on. And I've got all these things that I want to do in life, but I just don't have the time. And I most certainly at this point don't have the time to work on me. Now, of course, this is a problem because it prevents us being able to work on ourselves and get the result that we want. We want to transform our body. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to have more confidence and certainty within myself. And it's almost impossible when I'm in a fat, tired, weak, and overweight body. So I want these things, but I have too many barriers in the way, which are created by the rest of my life. Now, the catch is, ultimately, if I don't change these other aspects of my life, I'm probably never going to be able to put myself within the mind frame required to work on myself consistently. I can try to brute force it. I can try to force myself and obligate myself into doing these things, but it constantly feels like a battle. I end up hating the journey. So it's like, oh, health should be a wonderful part of your life, but ultimately it's not, because you fucking hate it, because it's just another obligation. It's just another time constraint and another thing that you have to do at the tail end of your to-do list that just feels like more work than it does pleasure or result. So what we often have to do is go, okay, well, the problem here is that I want a result that I currently feel I cannot achieve because there are other aspects of my life getting in the way. I'm too busy in my business. I've got too many obligations and emotional requirements that I have to show up for in my relationship. There's this issue with certainty and purpose. It's like, well, I'm doing all this stuff, but what am I really doing it for? And then I want to work on my body, but I'm not confident in whether I'm doing the right things or not. Have I picked the right diet? Am I doing the right program? Like, are the things I'm doing the things that are going to get me to the result as quick as possible? So we've got all these barriers in the way. That doesn't take away from the fact that we actually want the result. But what we have to do at some point is go, okay, well, what can I do in order to help me get this result? Which of these barriers in the other aspects of my life can I remove or switch up and change so that I can actually make space and time for me to work on myself? Now, sometimes it might be, okay, well, there are a lot of tasks within my business that I'm taking care of that I don't really need to do. I've got this mindset of, well, if I want it done properly, I have to do it myself. But that may not be absolutely true. So perhaps there are some things we can delegate to other people in order to free up time. Then it might be a case of, all right, well, I do need to spend more time with my family, but perhaps if I was to actually have a real conversation with my partner and let her know where I stand on this and how I'm struggling in myself and in my self-esteem and confidence because my body is all fucked up and out of shape. Maybe if I was to have a real conversation with her and explain how I feel about it, maybe she would allow me the space to do it without me feeling like I have to be guilty for not spending time with my partner. Or what we might find is that if you're able to show her how you working on your body and improving your health can benefit the whole relationship, then you might find that she'll be more likely to be on board with you as well. And she may even decide that she's going to join you in the journey, because of course, what we tend to see is quite often when one person in a relationship is out of shape, then the other person tends to be too, because you live similar lifestyles. You tend to eat similar foods, and you tend to sedate in the same kinds of ways. Binge watching Netflix, binge eating your favorite foods and things like that. And we partake in these activities that lead us away from health, but that's where our communion comes. That's where our connection takes place over these things that we're doing to kind of sedate from the crazy, hectic lifestyle, which of course they have that positive and that benefit, but that also leads to negatives on the back end in the way that we look, feel, and function. So we need to look at it. Okay, well, yes, it's a body thing, and I want to work on my body, but it's likely going to require action and reframing, and also changing some of the things I'm doing in other areas of my life too, in order for me to make this sustainable for me. So my question for you is ultimately this. It's like, where in your life do you know that you maybe need to make some shifts or some pivots to switch up some things that you're currently doing, so that you can make space for yourself to work on your health and work on your body, to finally actually get the body that you want in 2024. Now, of course, like always, it's not necessarily going to be easy. They're not necessarily going to be things that you can change immediately. But what things can you start working on within the next day or so that can start opening up the space that you need and the time that you need, so that you can work on yourself without having to feel guilty, without having to worry about being nagged by your partner or missed by your children and so on? What is it that you know you need to do in order to shift things for you so that you can start taking action? Now, of course, if this is something you struggle with and you want some help and some guidance and some input on this, all you have to do is reach out to me in the DMs. Let me know where you're struggling, and I can show you some tactics, some strategies, and some principles that we use here in Stronger Than Life that will help you get the ball rolling, that will help you see what specific things you need to move, or what specific things might be worth changing, so that you can actually allow this space for yourself to move forward, take action, and of course, get results. As always, people, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you all in my next video.